From studios at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, this is Fourth and State. In this edition, training the next generation of Wisconsin workers with Reggie Newson, Secretary of the State Department of Workforce Development. I'm David Haynes. I'm editorial page editor of the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and I'm joined today on Fourth and State with Reggie Newson, who is the Secretary of the Department of Workforce Development. Reggie, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. There was a Georgetown report that came out about a year ago that looked at the number of jobs that were going to be coming open, mainly, I think, through retirements and the baby boomers aging. It was something like 925,000 jobs by 2018. That's got to be a huge challenge for some of the work you're doing and some of the other cabinet secretaries are doing. What are some steps that DWD and others are taking to begin to deal with that challenge?
Well, first of all, it is a huge, huge issue for the state, and it goes right into the whole thing of the skills gap. And basically the skills gap is jobs that are going to be available now and emerging jobs in the marketplace in the future, and the available skilled workforce that's ready, willing, and able to fill those jobs. And this governor takes this very seriously. And a couple of things that we're starting to do at Workforce Development to deal with this is that we want to focus on doing a better job of connecting job seekers to jobs through technology. Our website, jobcenterwisconsin.com, right now has 36,000 job openings posted on the website as we speak. And we're using that website and we're encouraging any worker, whether dislocated or they're receiving unemployment insurance or anyone that's looking for a job or a better opportunity, to go out to that website and register. And conversely, we've been putting a big full court press on encouraging businesses to post to this website their jobs. And there we're using this technology to make the match through email blasts and phone calls and follow-up. There's our versions of monster.com.
To have sort of one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of these jobs are in the manufacturing industries. And I know that in the past, there's been this sense that maybe manufacturing wasn't for my kid. How do you get past that, both with parents and with young people who are still in high school?
Well, I can say this, is that the job creators and employers, the CEOs, the HR professionals I talk to on a daily basis, the governor talks to and the lieutenant governor, they're really focusing on this. And the private sector is really stepping up to take the initiative to work to do a better PR job on their industry, working to dispel the notion that these jobs are dumb, dirty, and dangerous jobs. And I'm often in...
Not your old manufacturing.
Not the manufacturing of those. And I'm often in shop floors with the governor, and we see that these are clean environments. And right now in Waukesha through Second Chance Partners is a program out there. They're working with employers and they're working with the school district to begin the process of getting teachers, guidance counselors, as well as the parents into the schools, into these manufacturing areas to see what these environments are actually like, and conversely working to get the kids in there as well. And through that, we're going to work to dispel this notion. The private sector is going to step up, and at Workforce Development, through our apprenticeship program that we offer, as well as through dual enrollment opportunities, we can begin the process of getting young people started early into a manufacturing environment so they can see that these are good paying jobs and clean environments and family supporting endeavors.
Explain how the dual enrollment program would work.
Well, basically it works as simple as this, that students in school, and they can either go to a technical college. The technical college has an agreement with the school district. So the student can go to the tech college to take classes to receive college credits, or they can bring in instructors from the technical college into the schools to be trained and taught, and basically gives a leg up and a head start for young people. So when they graduate from high school, they've already banked some college credits.
They've got some of the skills. So it's a dual path for kids as they're still in high school. Now, I wonder if some of the efforts that are underway are going to require more funding, and if they are in this sort of an environment where it's difficult to get more funding for anything, how would that work?
Well, that's why I just say this, that the governor took very positive steps and shown great leadership to get a balanced budget this biennium. And as we look forward, we're very optimistic that the next budget cycle, we can start looking at making some targeted investments in education and making trade-offs. And we're working right now. The governor counseled, issued an executive order to set up a Council of College and Workforce Readiness. And this council will be made up of cabinet members, members from the Tech College leadership, four-year university, and K through 12, Superintendent Evers, and others. And we're going to sit down and look at making some formal recommendations to the governor about how we do things like dual enrollment and get more people into technical training programs and at the high school level as well as the college level, and what recommendations we want to make in terms of targeted investments for funding.
And this is the group that Tim Sullivan, I think, is heading up, correct?
Yeah, Tim Sullivan, who the governor brought on to head up the Office of Business and Workforce Development, will be leading and chairing this council. We call it the P20 Council. And again, this council will be looking to make some recommendations to the governor about how to deal with, again, create a long-term pipeline to get young people into the careers, into the emerging industries that this state will need to continue to drive the economy forward.
And what's the time frame for the group to make recommendations to Governor Walker?
Well, the council hasn't met yet, and it's going to be meeting sometime in April. And I would say late summer, early fall, we'll be looking at making some formal recommendations to the governor.
And we get into a new budget cycle soon, so if there are any recommendations regarding funding, you can dovetail that with the next budget cycle.
Sure.
I wonder if you talk a little bit about how your department works with the new Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation and how the whole idea of workforce development, preparing people for work, dovetails with economic development.
Well, it's key. And Tim Sullivan, Paul Jayden, who's the CEO and the Secretary of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and I are working very closely together. We're having frequent meetings, and Paul and I are working. Paul is giving information about the type of companies that he's trying to recruit to Wisconsin. And I'm working with the tech colleges as well as the Workforce Investment Board statewide to begin the process identifying the type of training that these companies will require for their workforce to come to Wisconsin. And that's critical because when we talk to employers, and we know this, that employers want to locate their company and set down roots where there is a skilled and highly qualified workforce. So it's critical that Paul and myself are working together, and that's what's happening. And Tim, and we're very happy to have Tim Sullivan come on board, someone that's a former CEO that brings private sector experience to the table and has relationships with business and industry. And together, I think we form an outstanding team to begin to move the process forward of driving the economy and driving the workforce in Wisconsin.
Reggie Newson, thanks so much for being with us on 4th and State. And thank you for being with us. Tune in next time for another edition of 4th and State.